Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy, a Big 12 showdown between in-state rivals and the most historic venue in college basketball. It's the 287th meeting between number 12 Kansas and Kansas State from Allen Fieldhouse. 5 Big 12 teams in the AP Top 25, all of them in action today, including a pair of top 20 matchups later on. Number 2 West Virginia visits number 8 Texas Tech, and number 9 Oklahoma hosts number 16 TCU. But this is the place to be right now as we start your Saturday in sports alongside Big 12 Dean of Broadcasting, Fran Priscilla. I'm Rich Hollenberg, and Fran, big news for a big man on campus here in Lawrence. Silvio De Sousa has been cleared to play by the NCAA this morning. What kind of impact?
Let's see, 6'9", 235, hostile, agile, and mobile. I think he's going to have a big impact, maybe not right away today, although we will see him, but over the course of the season as he gets used to this new system.
He's wearing number 22, and he'll see his first action, a freshman out of IMG Academy. He's been on campus since just after Christmas, but this will be his first game action for the Kansas Jayhawks. We're underway from Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas controls the opening tip. Here's Malik Newman coming off a career high 27 last time out against Iowa State.
Man-to-man by Kansas State, the usual four-guard attack for Kansas.
Speaking of attack, Devontae Graham attacks the hoop, but comes up empty. Kansas State has their first possession. And it's a quick shot off the mark, the weak side rebound of it.
One thing you'll notice on every rebound, Kansas early in the game will really get out and run, and playing through Big Doke, you see the double team quickly.
Nice up and under fake by the big man.
Now, we were talking yesterday about how much this young man has improved around the basket. And right there was a perfect example. The shot fake, the up and under, great footwork.
They like to get him involved early in the offense.
Yes, they do. They know they can shoot it, so they want to spend time creating a inside-outside attack.
Here's Barry Brown coming off a career-best 38-point performance in their win last week. 5 on the shot clock. The freshman, Jara, off the mark. Cartier-Jara starting in place of the injured Kamal Stokes. That's a big loss for Bruce Weber.
Well, it is, but Jara stepped up really nicely, 17 against Oklahoma State in their win earlier in the week.
Open look from the wing.
Remember, Malik Newman, the all-points bulletin went out for him earlier in the season, but he responded Tuesday night with a career-high 27, and you like the aggressiveness.
There's Dean Wade, 32 in purple. Duck under move, and the first bucket for the Kansas State Wildcats is from Dean Wade, the 6'10 junior out of St. John, Kansas.
Yep, the only player on the court right now from the state of Kansas starting this game.
And one of the smallest towns in Kansas to boot.
See, they leave the middle open for the drive.
McKyler with the left hand, no, Wade the rebound. 2.5 gone by, 5-2. 12th ranked Kansas leading their in-state rival Kansas State. They call it the Sunflower Showdown. Wade gets doubled in the post. Now 10 on the shot clock. The 3 from the corners off the mark. Another rebound to Gerald Vick on the weak side. Here's Devontae Graham's first shot of the game. He's third all-time in Kansas with 3-pointers made, and he gives the Jayhawks an 8-2 lead. We take a 30-second timeout. Stay with us.
This ladder is special. This first step, it's not even here. It's in the gym where the first practice was held. Climbing it takes months of twists and turns and tournaments. At its peak, you won't be 5 feet off the floor. You'll be on top of the world, holding the best trophy in all of sports. A piece of nylon. Continental Tire, for what you do. All right, let's have the confetti.
Kansas jumps out to an 8-2 lead with 16:57 to go. Your Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy and Fran. Devontae Graham left alone in the corner.
Yeah, what you can't do if you're Jara is give up the 2, but don't give up the 3. And he's late on the closeout. And the one thing you know about Kansas when you play them, because they shoot the 3 so well, I'll give up the 2 contested at the rim versus the open 3 from guys like Luke and Graham and now Newman and Vic.
Kansas as a team 12th in the nation in three-point percentage at 41%.
And I'll tell you right now, Svi and Devontae are on track to being one of the great three-point shooting duos in Kansas history. So turn them into drivers if you're Kansas State. Excellent execution by Kansas.
Here's Brown, top of the key, off the mark. Graham, there's a foul on the floor down low. That's going to go on 21, James Love.
Well, when you talk about some great duos throughout the history of Kansas, you just look at the numbers. They speak for themselves. Svi Luke having one of his, well, obviously his best season. He's shooting 57% from 3 in this building.
And doing that a lot more than he has earlier in his career.
Well, it's like having a fastball and a curveball, you know? People are going to sit on the three-point line, so you've got to have something else. And that's where he's really, to your point, Rich, made a great improvement.
Wade, nice face-up game from Dean Wade, and he has all 4 K-State points. There's Luke again.
There he goes. This is 38-3 in this building this year. He is 3rd all-time in percentage of threes in a season in Allen Fieldhouse. You know the 1st and 2nd were? Kirk Heinrich, Frank Mason in 3rd.
What does K-State want to do offensively?
They're doing what they need to do offensively. They're moving the ball well. You see how Dean Wade did a great job of taking on the double team and finding the open man, but it's on the defensive end that they've got to get back in transition and make sure they cover the three-point line.
Mike Stewart whistles the foul on the floor. 13-7, Kansas over their in-state rival, Kansas State.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Kansas State. Kansas has won 5 in a row against K-State, and the last 11 in this building. None more contentious, Fran, than 1 year ago. You were on the call for this game.
Yeah, great game. It went down to the wire. Here's the end of the game. Take a look. That's 4 steps, as Bill Self later said. He said game should have gone to overtime. And who knows if Kansas State would have won. It was certainly great fodder for the sports radio talk shows for a few days, and I certainly had fun with it. Someone asked me on Twitter if Svi was going to walk to Manhattan. I said, no, he's going to travel with me. Both fan bases, most of the fan bases had a lot of fun with that.
Stolen away by Newman. He penetrates, but can't hit. And Wade clears for the Wildcats.
Kansas has been red hot, but Kansas State still in this ball game. They've got to get some stops and continue to run pretty efficient offense.
There's the freshman Stockard. And Levi Stockard has his first bucket of the game.
Remember, Azubuike does not want to get in foul trouble. He's only fouled out 1 game this year. So Kansas is still soft inside defensively.
If he does get in foul trouble, though, we could very well see Silvio D'Souza, number 22 in white, cleared to play early this morning. And will certainly be a contributor as the season wears on. No D'Souza yet. Mitch Lightfoot, number 44 in white, checks in for Bill Self, who is newly minted into the Hall of Fame this past September. 15th season as the Kansas head coach. 25 or more wins each of the last 12 years.
know, if you coach at Kansas, it's almost an automatic to get into the Hall of Fame because of the 8 coaches here. Think about that. They've only had 8 coaches at Kansas in their history, and 5 of them are in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
There's Bruce Weber on the other sideline in his 6th season in Manhattan, 20th overall, 425 career wins for Weber, including 11 appearances in the NCAA tournament, 3 of those coming as the head man at K-State. So you do the math, and I'm terrible at math, but that's over 1,000 coaching wins on the floor today.
Yeah, and Bruce Weber, highly regarded by his peers as a great tactician, runs a good program on and off the court.
6 on the shot clock. Wade double teamed in the post, and he turned it over.
You see what's happening. That time they double teamed him late in the clock, so he wasn't able to catch his breath, take his time, and find the open man. But the strategy early for Kansas is get the ball out of Dean Wade's hands where he can operate one-on-one.
One thing that hasn't been discussed much about this Kansas State club is how young they are. Technically, when you go by classes, they're the 9th youngest team in Division I basketball, and another freshman just checked in, number 00, Mike McGurl. Nice pocket pass to Lightfoot.
Never help up in pick and roll. That time Stockard was in no man's land. You've got a hard edge or stay back, and he did neither.
Catch and fire, Sneed off the mark. And Marcus Garrett grabs the rebound. Kansas clicking offensively in the early going against a good Kansas State defensive club. Lightfoot can hit that from the top of the key. Not that time.
Yeah, the girl's an interesting story. The young man with the ball, he's from Hartford, Connecticut. They were going to redshirt him until the injury to Stokes 2 games ago. He played 3 minutes the other night. You see him getting early time. They did not want to burn that redshirt year, but felt they needed another point guard. There's that trap.
Good interior defense by the Jayhawks. Surprised a little that Barry Brown hasn't gotten more field goal attempts.
No, not really. It's early. This is small sample size. Kansas knows they need to slow him down, and that's Devontae Graham's 2nd foul, I believe. Let's take a look on that pick and roll last time. We talked about some freshmen involved defensively. Look where Stockard comes way up, and he never gets back inside the Lightfoot. You don't want your man to get behind you in pick and roll. There's no help from the weak side either by Barry Brown. But a little bit of inexperience right there. But very interesting development because Devontae Graham is playing a lot of minutes, over almost 39 minutes a game in conference play. And it is early for him to pick up 2 fouls.
Second leading scorer in the conference, behind freshman sensation Trae Young.
Quite frankly, Kansas has not operated well this season without Graham on the floor.
10 on the shot clock. 5 to shoot. Sneed runs into a wall, number 35 in white. Here's Mikhailuk from the left side. Azubuike with the put down.
You see the improvement of Udoka Azubuike on both ends of the floor right there. He walled up, he stayed vertical, he did not foul, and then the ballerina-like moves inside, much improved offensively.
Aaron pass by Brown, and here come the Jayhawks again. Vic. You look at the numbers, Fran, is it a classic case of go versus whoa? Kansas really likes to push pace. K-State likes to slow things down.
Well, you don't want, if you play a fast pace, if you're Kansas State and you're not making shots, you have a chance to get blown out.
Brown, tough take. Left hand from Barry Brown. Number 5 in purple, the junior out of St. Pete, Florida, Gibbs High School.
Coming off that monster game, 38 points against Oklahoma State at home earlier in the week.
Mikhailuk. you see the effect of Devontae Graham not being on the floor.
Hey, it's early, but we'll see. This is a good test for these 4 perimeter players for Kansas. Marcus Garrett, the closest thing to a point guard, a freshman from Dallas.
Inside, Mayween can't get it to go, but a foul's called on the floor, and we have a stoppage in play. 10.5 to go. It's 17-11, Jayhawks.
Just watch Udoka Azubuike.
Continues this afternoon on ESPN at 4 Eastern. 21st ranked Kentucky taking on Vandy, and at 6 Eastern, number 20 North Carolina squares off against Notre Dame in South Bend. Both games on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. And how about Mike Bray and those Notre Dame Fighting Irish? I know you'll see them on Tuesday.
Yeah, and Matty Farrell's dying to get back. I'm going to be interested to see if he plays tonight. He thinks he's ready. Mike Bray's thinking, wait a minute, we're 3-1 without Bonzie Colson, who's likely done for much of the regular season, and now Matt Farrell with that ankle sprain. So it's going to be very strategic to see if Mike Bray uses Matt Farrell tonight or gives him a couple more days off. But I am anxious to see David Padgett's Louisville Cardinals coming off a big win at Florida State. They've got Virginia Tech at home today. I'll see them Tuesday night. Looking forward to that with Reese Davis.
Mac Mayween knocks down 2 free throws. 6'9" sophomore, started his college career at New Mexico Junior College, the same junior college as Kenrich Williams from TCU.
In Hobbs, New Mexico. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
Dunk with the dunk.
He's done such a good job, and that's always out of a timeout. You got to look for Bill Self to go inside, and the post feeding this season has been excellent. And that's why Azubuike's shooting nearly 80% right now from the field.
Second in the nation in field goal percentage behind Taco Fall. There's Brown in and out. Halfway through the first half, Rich Hollenberg, Fran Fraschilla. Saturday Showcase presented by 5-Hour Energy. The Jayhawks have not trailed in the 287th edition of the Sunflower Showdown. Azubuike feeling it on the left block.
One of the things he does really well, Rich, is he does his work early. Watch him freeze it, guys. There you go. Look at that. He's got that spot inside. Let's clear it. That's not the... And now they throw it in there. Bad telly right there by me, but you see the idea. Gets the post-up position. What they love to do, we call it misdirection. Take the ball one way, work it back the other way, and he does his job early.
Still counts as a free throw, even though he went off the glass. And take a look. As the crowd goes wild, Steve Mikhailuk going to the bench, and number 22, Silvio De Souza, set to check in his first action as a Jayhawk.
Body by Jake.
You've actually seen him play some in person.
Quite a bit. We had him at the Steph Curry Elite Camp this summer in August, and fabulous young man, outstanding athlete, tremendous rebounder, and he's a rookie. He's going to have some bumps in the road, but he'll be a great addition in about 2 or 3 weeks.
5 to shoot for the Wildcats. Wade squeezes the trigger from 3. Dean Wade has an early 7 points, and it's still just a 5-point lead for the Jayhawks. Devontae Graham back on the floor with 2 fouls. Here's De Souza's first touch, and he throws it away. Baby steps.
Oh yeah, no, it's not going to happen right away, but just to have him out there getting his feet wet.
Fran, so much has been made about Bill Self being, my term, no one else's term, forced to play small ball. He prefers to have a couple of bigs on the floor and go inside out. They haven't been able to do that this year. So maybe De Souza's progress will allow Bill Self to get into that a little bit.
It will. And yet over the last 3 years, Rich, they've really played the small ball game well, you know, with great guard play.
Scramble for the ball. Xavier Sneed comes up with it for K-State.
They've got a new shot clock, so they don't have to take that shot.
Loose ball again. Brown comes up with it. Here's Wade, left alone. In and out, and the follow slam by Xavier Sneed.
Good effort by Snead that time. He took that first shot under duress with a brand new clock. Didn't need to do that, but Kansas State, we talked about it early. You know, it looked like they were getting blown out of here, but they really were in striking distance.
Xavier Snead coming off his first career double-double last time in a win against Oklahoma State.
Really good half-court defense by Kansas State. They move their feet so well.
Graham picked up the loose ball and a fresh 30 for the Jayhawks.
And Graham's got to play cautiously. He can't drive it like he has lately because of those 2 fouls he picked up early.
Great matchup. Graham checked by Brown. Pull up 3. Off to the left. Jara secures it for the K-State Wildcats. Stolen away.
Xavier Snead's got to slow down a little bit.
Here's Jara.
Watch the double. Where does Wade go with it? That's a foul.
Well, Xavier Snead has the need for Snead for K-State, keeping him in this game.
And you know what he's got? He's got some athleticism, too. Young man, a sophomore from St. Louis. Jumping out of the gym.
In my experience, there are only 2 things guaranteed.
Bruce Weber's K-State Wildcats with a tough task trying to win on the road in Allen Fieldhouse. But as usual, the defense travels.
Yep, and you look at this guy, and the defense travels because his mentor of almost 2 decades at Purdue University, Gene Cady. You know, Bruce Weber is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but the Kansas connection goes back to Gene Cady, who was born in Larned, Kansas, played football at Kansas State. Later, a great coach at Western Kentucky and then Purdue University. And it's kind of interesting how basketball comes full circle because Larned's about 30 miles northwest of St. John, Kansas, right there in west central Kansas. So the Milwaukee guy has that incredible Gene Cady connection. And guess what? Gene Cady's teams play great defense.
Got a K-State foul. It'll be Kansas basketball. 6:53 to go. The Jayhawks have never trailed, but they lead by just 3 against Kansas State. 287 Sunflower Showdown in the Big 12. Here's Garrett. 10 to shoot. Now 5 for the Jayhawks. Mikhailuk off balance and off the mark.
Really good last few possessions by the team in purple. They've kept Kansas from really getting inside the painted area.
Now K-State could tie with a triple. Wade. Snead for the tie. Got it. Xavier Snead with 8. Dean Wade with 7. They lead the scoring for the Kansas State Wildcats, who have climbed back in with 6:05 to go. An 8-0 run has tied this game up for the first time.
Now take a look. You see, we talked about Wade was going to get a lot of attention in the low post. And when he has time, excellent passer. And that time we talked about Xavier Snead earlier, taking a tough contested shot. That's what we call a rhythm 3. And that's something he can do when his feet are set.
You talked about this last week when Kansas was hosting Iowa State. What is a recipe to pull off an upset here in Allen Fieldhouse?
The first thing, you got to believe that you're not going to get blown out. Let's be honest, okay? Because you can be excited about coming in here, but as a mindset that you have to stay focused. And then you can't beat yourself. You know, you can't turn it over. The 2 things that really stuck out to me in the home losses this season for Kansas, teams have scored many more points off turnovers than they have, and teams have guarded the 3-point line really well.
Mike Stewart calls the foul down low. Well, we heard a Kansas State team yesterday in practice that does believe they could come in here and pull off the upset, especially without Kamal Stokes, their point guard. Bruce Weber preached 3 words: focus, purpose, and pride.
Well,
and he said, let's make it a great bus ride home.
Yeah, now it sounds great, but the kids have to buy into that.
Graham. Mazabuke went up to catch the lob and landed on a couple of K-State players.
Yeah, Stockard, I think, just walked under him.
And that foul's going to go on Levi Stockard. It's already his third. So Mac Mayween will check back in.
You know what's interesting about Big Doak? He committed almost 9 fouls per 40 minutes a year ago. And this season, he's only fouled out of one game, and he's only had 4 fouls in another. And him staying on the floor has really opened up the three-point line for guys like Devontae Graham.
Graham, 53 triples already this season, shooting it over 42% from beyond the arc. Certainly in the discussion for Big 12 Player of the Year and National Player of the Year. Sneed, the hot hand. First player on the floor in double digits, Xavier Sneed, number 20 in purple. It's 5 minutes to go in the first half. Doak with the right hook. Can't get the shooter's touch.
Well, Dean Wade did a good job. He was guarding Vic in the corner, but it was sneaking over like he was going to double team Doak.
Wade underneath in traffic. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay K-State basketball. Well, our first big Monday of the season on ESPN is a sonic blockbuster. At 7 Eastern, Marvin Bagley, the 3rd and 7th ranked Duke, battle 18th ranked Miami. Then at 9 Eastern, the Jayhawks, again in a huge Big 12 matchup on the road against 2nd ranked West Virginia in Morgantown. Both games on ESPN.
And the Mountaineers have won those last 4 meetings in Morgantown. Mountaineers are out at Texas Tech. They'll make a long trip home today to get ready for that game Monday. And Kansas obviously playing early on Saturday. Will leave sometime tomorrow afternoon.
A look right now at your Big 12 standings. Amazing that we're just over a week into the season and only one team remains undefeated in league play. That's how deep and talented this Big 12 is.
I said early in the year I thought it's a possibility that the champion would have 6 losses. I also think that the champion could be a or three-way champion in this league, and that would count as the 4. If Kansas were in a co-championship situation, that would be their 14th championship, which would be the NCAA record all time.
Wade, again, that face-up jump shot from Dean Wade. This program, headed by Bruce Weber, has preached to him since he got to Manhattan. Be aggressive. He is today.
Absolutely. He had a shot to put Kansas State ahead last year in that 90-88 Kansas win.
Graham off the mark for 3. K-State has the ball and their first lead of the game. Brown to the cup. Yes, with the left hand again. Barry Brown with 4. And now it's a 3-point Wildcats lead. What does Kansas go to when they need a hoop?
Spread it out and drive it, but remember Graham's got 2.
Doak surrounded by purple jerseys, and he got fouled. 3:24 to go. We have a timeout on the floor with the Wildcats 3 points up on the Jayhawks.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Guys, hey, what time's your flight?
It's a really tough matchup for Kansas. He can move in so many different places in the action. He can step out and shoot the 3. He can play in the post and look for Bruce to really attack that matchup throughout the game.
Yeah, Wade's got 9 points as well. Back to Rich and Fran.
Thank you, Adnan, Fonz, and Seth. Back here in Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier about Dean Wade. It's not the talent and the versatility Seth talked about. He has at times taken a back seat, and there you see the kind of aggressiveness that Bruce Weber wants out of Dean Wade every night. Remember, this is small-town Kansas kid. Who I remember his freshman year, coaching staff said he just doesn't know how good he is.
He's the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kansas coming
Yeah,
up.
but it's not like being the Gatorade Player of the Year in Chicago or California, New York.
And Brian Patrick whistled for the foul on Devontae Graham. So Graham, one of the better free throw shooters in the Big 12, will step to the line for the first time. K-State with their largest lead of the game, 29-24, 2:36 to go. Xavier Sneed checking in for Patrick. Bruce Weber mixing and matching. And among the fabulous accolades that Devontae Graham is piling up in his senior season, one of the best free throw shooters in the nation, 88%, and he knocks down his first. Let's take a look at our Wendy's Wooden Watch today, and obviously Devontae Graham is one of those members. Mo Bamba, Javon Carter, and Trae Young, all representing the Big 12.
Interesting. Two highly thought of freshmen and two seniors who 4 years ago, if you would have said Devontae Graham and Javon Carter would be on the Wendy's Wooden Watch, you know what the answer would be? Who are they?
Right.
Who are those guys? Where do they play?
Graham originally committing to App State. Spent a year at Brewster Academy, where he was released from his scholarship, came over to Kansas, and the rest now is history in Lawrence. Time running down. Mayween with the shot clock running out. Certainly not the shot you wanted, and a foul on the floor.
Well, you talked about Brewster Academy. Jason Smith, the head coach up there, has done an amazing job through the years. And take a look at that picture right there. There's some guys. I see Devontae wearing number 4. The kid leaning over. He's a young man from New York who went to Brewster Academy with not a lot of accolades. His name is Donovan Mitchell.
He's lighting up the NBA now,
yes,
isn't he?
Yes, he is. You saw Jonah Bolden in the background, who played at UCLA, drafted by the Sixers last year. But you know, those prep schools in New England are terrific. The Northfield Mount Hermans, the Brewster Academies, the St. Andrews, where Bonzie Colson played. It's like finishing school. Some kids go there to smooth out their academics. Some kids need to get more exposure. But the competition, by the time they get to the high D1 level, you're talking about guys like I mentioned, Bonzie Colson, Donovan Mitchell, Devontae Graham, Aubrey Dawkins. How about Bruce Brown at Vermont Academy, playing at Miami now? So they do a great job up there. Great coaching, great competition.
Of course, our guy in the studio, LaFonso Ellis, his son Walt is playing at Brewster Academy right now.
That's right, for Jason Smith.
Brown, blocked by Azubuike. And look at the big man hit the deck, but he threw it away. Brown fires from 3, and he got it.
Well, that play started because Brown was able to drive Graham with his 2 fouls. Azubuike made a great defensive play, but he over-hustled. He would have been better off taking a jump ball or maybe even calling a timeout.
And the turnover. Here's Jara with the step.
Smart move by Jara, knowing Graham cannot foul.
Cartier Jara in his second career start, doing it in hostile territory, and he has the first 2 and extends the K-State lead. 34-28, under a minute to go.
Watch the high-low here.
Mikhailuk got it.
He's just deadly, but you make him drive. He's not missing that. Not for the rest of the year.
Five-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Five on the shot clock. Brown turns it over. And it's a shot clock violation. Didn't hit the rim. And with 5 seconds left, Kansas will have one more shot.
Now the dilemma is, if you Devontae Graham, you know you can get to the basket from this spot on the floor and make a play, but do you risk picking up a charge? This is going to be an interesting situation. Usually in this situation, he would put his head down and go, but he's got to be a little bit conservative here.
Here's Graham. 2 seconds. Mikhailuk. Got it!
That's why Bill Self is in the Hall of Fame. Graham's not going to drive it all the way. He's just going to set up Steve Mikhailuk for the deep ball. And this guy does not miss in this building this season.
Knotted at 34. Stay tuned for Adnan Burke, LaFonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg, the Alfa Romeo halftime report right after this. Meeting between Kansas State and Kansas, and after 20 minutes we are deadlocked at 34. The 12th ranked Jayhawks and the Wildcats from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Courtside with Fran Fraschilla, I'm Rich Hollenberg. This has been a Kansas State first half, even though we're tied at 34, and a junior and a sophomore, Xavier Sneed and Dean Wade, have led them in the first half for the Wildcats.
They've been outstanding, and particularly Dean Wade, who has so much talent and oftentimes takes a back seat, but without Kamal Stokes in the lineup due to an injury, the junior from St. John, Kansas has been absolutely outstanding both inside and out. And then the sophomore, Xavier Sneed, out of St. Louis, a young man with a lot of promise. He stepped up big as well. And they have kept the Wildcats in this game, but how about Steve Mikhailuk? This young man has been on fire, not only this season, home and away, but particularly in Allen Fieldhouse. And back-breaking threes from Bruce Weber right at the end of the half, last two coming in the final minute to tie this ball game up. And talk about how hot he's been. 58% behind the arc in Allen Fieldhouse this season.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Mikhailuk gave up soda and ranch dressing this summer and has remade his body, dropped some weight. A bouncier Steve Mikhailuk this year. We saw it in the first half. K-State starts with the ball to start the second half. And here's a lob for Jara. And Cartier-Jara picks up his own miss.
Good start. That ball just got over the outstretched fingertips of Azubuike.
Cartier-Jara had a 41-inch vertical before he had knee surgery a year ago and had a red shirt. He ended up with a 44-inch vertical this year. Empty possession for the Jayhawks. Bruce Weber wanted a foul in front of his own bench. No call from Ray Natili, but it stays K-State basketball.
A lot of opposing coaches have come into this building wanting a foul.
What is it you always say? You have to play more than perfect if you want to win an Allen Fieldhouse.
You do. You got to do that in a lot of good places. Teams with good. This team is a very good team, Kansas, needless to say.
Stolen away by Graham, who starts the second half with 2 fouls.
See, Kansas State does a lot of switching of equals, players of similar size on the perimeter. So they try to negate that little dribble weave game.
Azubuike with the left hand.
Remember that Azubuike did not play in a Big 12 game a year ago. His wrist injury happened before, but you can see the continued improvement offensively.
He's in double digits with 10. And we're tied at 36. And that's going to be a foul. It's Barry Brown.
Take a look now. Watch Big Dope. Watch him look middle. Survey, there's no double team. And then goes up with that left hand. And that is not something he would have done well a year ago. Norm Roberts, who's been with Bill Self a long time, minus a stint as the head coach at St. John's, really does a terrific job with Kansas's big guys.
thrown away by Wade.
And that was caused by Azubuike because of the double team. He came quick and hard, and Wade got rid of that ball. Take a look.
The 8 K-State turnover. They're first in the conference. Only 11 turnovers a game for Bruce Weber's club. They value the basketball.
Big fella's going to get it here if they can get it to him.
As you said, a dozen for Doak.
That's what we call misdirection. Take the ball to the left, bring it back to the right. I sound like Tony Romo there. I love it.
Forecasting.
You watch enough basketball and you kind of smell plays out. And even when you're coaching against that, you're helpless when your guys don't understand the scouting report.
Nice look. Barry Brown drew the defense and got it inside to number 14 in purple, Mac Mayween. Last year, a very controversial finish. The Kansas Jayhawks escaped with a 90-88 win. It looks like we might be on our way to that kind of finish again.
It's really good half-court defense by Wade there.
Here's Doak. And the foul is before the shot. But Udoka Azubuike is doing work on the offensive end.
It's hard to come and double him because Kansas has 4 shooters out there right now. Now Newman's in the mid-30s. Everybody else is in the 40s. You can double when Garrett comes in because he's a non-shooter. But this group is hard to double the post with because of Kansas's ability to knock down the deep ball.
3 minutes gone by in the second half. We're still tied. Until a three-pointer by number 4, Devontae Graham. 5 to shoot for the Cats. Brown, baseline. Too strong, and Vic gets the weak side rebound.
Wade's done a good job on Newman because that time Newman wanted to drive him, and Wade moves his feet really well.
Here's Graham, path to the basket, got fouled, and will go to the line.
Kansas State a little confused on the perimeter right now. We talked about how, watch it, they're supposed to switch this here, and Chara runs right into the screen, and he doesn't get back in time, and gives up the open three. That's just an experience.
Devontae Graham coming into this season second to Javon Carter of West Virginia in active Big 12 games, points. He's also first active leader in threes and second in steals. Those two careers have mirrored each other, and they're going to square off on Monday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of two guys who I have enormous respect for. The fun part about covering this league, and I know I don't own this league, okay? I love the Big 12. I don't own it, I get it. But I love watching kids come in as freshmen and mature. You know, I don't care if it's Buddy Hield or George Niang. The stories you get to tell when you watch them grow up, it's amazing.
Patrick, short on the three. And Patrick chases it down in the backcourt.
Kansas State right now, you just want to weather this initial storm and stay within 5 or so.
Chara turns the corner, goes right at Azubuike, and has it erased.
That's verticality, according to the official.
The one more. K-State hanging tough on the road in Kansas. It's 42-38, Jayhawks with the lead. Squared off in the practice, Jabin Lawrence. Kansas reigned victorious with an 86-65 win, and they're the defending national I think it was 2016 they won the national championship for the Managers.
But I saw a couple travels last night from a couple of those Kansas managers. But it's a lot of fun. These managers are the hidden secret of any college basketball program. They do so much behind the scenes. so much work. A lot of them go on to be really good coaching candidates. It's a great way to get into coaching because you're around great players or great coaches every day. And to be a manager at Kansas for Bill Self and his staff, obviously, is very, very special.
And when they were shorthanded with injuries this year, the managers had to practice with the players.
Yeah, exactly.
Sneed, high off the glass, no good.
That went in and out. Now you may be able to double team off of Garrett in the game. When that ball goes, oh, it's easy, that's easy.
Brown, tough shot. Good Kansas defense. And here comes Graham again. 12 points, 4 assists.
Watch this now. Out of a timeout. Watch Udoka Azubuike. There's the little screen. And there's the back screen out of a timeout. They've saved it for this point in the game. Perfect execution. And they caught Kansas State. Bill Self is as good as any coach in the country at coming out of a timeout and getting his team an easy basket. By the way, the last drive by Graham, there was minimal contact on that play. But you like the idea that Devontae now, with only 2 fouls, can stay aggressive. Coming into Big 12 play, Rich, he was only averaging about 3.5 free throw attempts a game, and he's been much more aggressive at getting to the line.
Speaking of the line, Graham knocks down both free throws. And it's an 8-0 Jayhawks run to give them a 46-38 lead. 6 minutes gone by in the second half. Kansas looking to keep pace with West Virginia, the only undefeated team in conference play at 4-0. Jayhawks are 3-1. Sneed. Looked good off his hand. It bounces off the top of the backboard, and it'll be Kansas basketball. Tomorrow night on ESPN, an NBA Sunday special for you as Portland takes on Minnesota. The Blazers versus the T-Wolves, 9 Eastern on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Can I tell you what's criminal? Damian Lillard is likely not to make the All-Star team in the West again. He's kind of looking like Devontae Graham right now. Damian Lillard is an All-Star. And this kid's an All-American.
Guys, hey, what time's your flight?
I've got an hour until I'm supposed to board.
All right, we have things to do.
Kansas win games in 4 years. You know, the leadership, the defense on Buddy Hield back in his sophomore year comes to mind. But when he's open, you always think it's going in, and there's the numbers. And if you're interested, he's made 112 of those 241 right here in this building. He's 4th all-time, behind guys like Billy Thomas, Jeff Boschee, and Sharon Collins has 136 threes in this building. That's the all-time record.
Here's Wade. Hasn't scored yet in the second half after a good first half. And he got fouled and took a shot in the eye as well. So Dean Wade with 11 first half points will step to the line and shoot 2. He had 20 points in this building a year ago. And all this production and all this success coming from tiny St. John, Kansas, population 1,300.
Exactly right. On the way to Great Bend. The nearest McDonald's is in Great Bend, 30 miles away. They played for Cade Kinnaman's, who's a teammate of his dad, coach of that team, won a couple of 2A state titles, was recruited by the likes of Wichita State and Creighton. They won one of their championships in Bramlage Coliseum.
His dad played college ball at K-State before transferring. His mom, a volleyball player and a volleyball coach now. His sister is an All-American volleyball player. Athletic family, the Rays are.
Not even a Dairy Queen in St. John.
Garrett. Quick trigger from the freshman. Nine-point Kansas lead. We were tied at the half. Jara tried to turn the corner on Graham. Got the foul. Is it going to be on number 4? And that's the 3rd foul on Devontae Graham, and immediately LeGerald Vick gets up off the bench for Bill Self.
One of the things we saw in the first half, Rich, was when Devontae Graham went out, Kansas State was able to make that run. And so if you're Bill Self right now, you'll milk this 9-point lead without him, but you're not going to hesitate to bring him back if the Wildcats go on a little run of their own.
Here's Wade working on Lightfoot. Good defense by Mitch Lightfoot. Kyler, aggressive. And we're going the other way. An offensive foul called on Svi Mikhailiuk.
What's good defense right there is if you know Mikhailiuk's on that line and he starts to drive, he'll have a tendency to run you over, and he knows it. He's added that driving part to his game, but he's still got to be able to stop and pop in the mid-range. You got to be able, if you're a guard and you're going to play at the next level, you have to be able to score in the high paint, because you're not getting to the low paint in that league called the NBA.
Wade, we saw that a lot in the first half. Dean Wade with 15.
And what we also saw there was no double team.
Newman, catch and fire, no. And Ahmad Wainwright grabbing the rebound, got fouled. It's 11:44 to go, and a 7-point KU lead over their in-state rivals.
Know what makes retirement less scary? Getting a check.
Livers will take advantage.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson is the difference maker in this Michigan team. His ability to distribute the basketball. He's become the leader of the Michigan basketball team.
That was Miles Bridges turning it over for Michigan State. Well, the Spartans do have a 2-point lead. Bridges has 9. Purdue right now all over Minnesota. Edwards has 25. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Adnan. From one in-state rivalry, Michigan State, to another here in Kansas. Kansas and Kansas State. Here's a look at your AP top 10. I know you saw Michigan State in person when they lost to Ohio State.
I'm really impressed with the Buckeyes. And Bates Diop, their outstanding senior to me right now. I think he's the leader for Big Ten Player of the Year. So now Graham and Azubuike are back. I want you to keep an eye, not on this half-court possession, but does Kansas have an ATO, out-of-timeout play, when they come up the floor?
Wade measured it up. Here's Jara. The left-handed 3 from Cartier Jara, his first triple of the afternoon.
I'll tell you how that happened. Graham snuck in to try to steal the drive. When he snuck in, he was out of position, and the ball reversal opened up an opportunity.
Nice feed inside, but this time Azubuike couldn't handle it. For the State Kansas basketball, 11:08 to go.
Watch, Graham is going to reach in on this drive. And when he reaches in, now you see the little jab by Vick to help out on Sneed. That opened up the ball for Jara. So that's an opportunity right there where the IQ of Devontae Graham actually got him in trouble.
Graham and the foul on Ahmad Wainwright. So Devontae Graham will go back to the line and shoot 2 with 17 points already.
Last season, Frank Mason and Josh Jackson were enormously good at driving the basketball. When we talk about points in the paint, it doesn't always mean throwing it into a big guy. It's can you score off the dribble getting to the rim. That was not a strength of Devontae Graham's for 3 seasons. He didn't need it to be. In Big 12 play, he's gotten himself to the line as much as 15 times in one game and 13 in another. And that's adjusting your game to what the team needs.
We saw the yin and yang of that in that loss to Texas Tech, right? First half, a lot of outside shooting. You could tell they made that adjustment. In the second half, much more aggressive.
Exactly. Got himself to the line. He made 13 out of 15 in that game.
19 today. He averages over 22 a game in conference play, and he has staked Kansas to a 51-45 lead. Jara might have gotten away with a push-off, but he got the layup at the rim.
Well, you know what he knows? He knows Graham's got 3, so he can go by him, because Graham, much like Trey Young, who doesn't like to foul a lot, needs to stay on the floor for his team.
Here's Azubuike. The double comes late, and Azubuike makes him pay.
But how good is he with his footwork? See how much improved he is?
And patient.
Absolutely. Reads the defense, figures it out, and makes the adjustment.
Jara feeling it. The redshirt freshman is in double digits with 11.
You almost think he'd taken ballet lessons or something.
Oh, by the way, he did. More on that in a second. And Cartier-Jara almost had a chance at a three-point play, but he'll go to the line.
Now, this is a young man that grew up on 116th between 7th and 8th Avenue in Harlem. Spent his high school years in South Carolina. Redshirted a year ago. But they really like this young man. Remember, he's playing in place of the injured Kamal Stokes, who's been a 3-year starter.
And Cartier-Jara, who credits dance lessons at a very young age with helping him not only with his athleticism, but also his vertical leap. He misses that first one. He took ballet lessons, he took hip-hop lessons, and he took gymnastics, Frank.
And he was a delightful kid to get to know yesterday.
Real treat.
Yeah, talked to him a lot last year when he was injured. At 17 in his first start against Oklahoma State, and he's been very impressive here today.
At 17 in his first start, last time out against Oklahoma State. He has 12 today against the Jayhawks. And he scored the last 8 points for the Wildcats to keep them in this contest. Stoppage of play, a little bit of a clock issue inside Allen Fieldhouse with 9:45 to go. Saturday Showcase continues, presented by 5 Hour Energy at 4 Eastern. The Wildcats of Kentucky take on Vanderbilt. Then at 6, number 20, North Carolina, squaring off against Notre Dame in South Bend. Both games are going to be on ESPN.
Bryce Drew at Vandy building a terrific recruiting class so far. Darius Garland, the in-state kid, who's one of the top 10 guards. Top 10 players in the country. He'll be a Commodore. Nice pass. Rich, that's the patience you talked about. We teach our big guys when you catch, you always look middle, because you can see not only the defense, but where your teammates are cutting. And a perfect example of the evolution of Udoka Azubuike.
Brown out to Jara. He did it again, Fran. 15 for Cartier-Jara, who's come alive in the second half. Poked away by Jara. And now K-State has numbers.
Let's go back and watch Udoka Azubuike. Watch him catch the ball here. Watch his head go immediately to the middle. He's looking to see if a double's coming and where his teammates are cutting. And look at that pass. You see Vic got inside of Barry Brown. Barry Brown is at the bottom there of the what we call a weak side eye. And he can never let anybody get in front of him, and he did that time.
Chance to tie it or take the lead for the Wildcats, and Dean Wade ties it up. 17 for Wade, and we are knotted up at 55 with 8:27 to go. The Wildcats won't go away in Allen Fieldhouse.
All I know is this. St. John, Kansas, 1,300 people. Will somebody from McDonald's build a restaurant there for this kid?
Rich Hollenberg, Fran Fraschilla, the rest of the ESPN crew in Lawrence, Kansas. And, of course, that West Virginia game against Kansas Monday is going to be dynamite. But this one is shaping up to be pretty special as well.
You know what? This is the first time in my 14 years in the league where I've seen Kansas this vulnerable at home so often. But it's hard to beat them here. You have to play perfect down the stretch.
Garrett drives and gets it to go.
And that's a freshman coming in off the bench, making a play at a Skyline High School in Dallas, a school that produced a couple NBA guys, C.J. Miles, and some guy named Grandmama, Larry Johnson.
Back door. Nice give off. Mayween can't polish it off, though.
Well, he's got to finish that because Dean Wade put that on a platter for him. Shot clock.
3 seconds. Brown, veteran clutch bucket by Barry Brown, who has 9.
He's been quiet tonight coming off the 38 against Oklahoma State, but he has a sense of the moment.
And a rare miscue by Devontae Graham with 7:20 to go. Now K-State has a chance to reclaim the lead.
And, you know, getting back to Barry Brown, he's a junior now, and talking to him yesterday, he's been the leader of this team. When they lost at Texas Tech a couple Saturdays ago, they wanted to take the there's a mandated day off you must give the players from the coaching staff, NCAA rule. Barry Brown got the team together and said, we're practicing on Sunday and we're watching film on our own because we're going to get better. In this league, you have to go the extra mile if you're a player or a coach.
And his backcourt mate Jara, the freshman, stayed in the gym until 2 a.m. that night shooting. Sneed. Tough turnaround by Xavier Sneed. The Wildcats reclaim the lead.
Now remember, down the stretch, you can get it inside to Azubuike, but if you foul him, he is a poor foul shooter, and Garrett is a poor three-point shooter.
Newman swatted away by Mayween. The sophomore Xavier Sneed had 10 points in the first half, an impressive bucket here in the second.
Well, a technical foul has been called, and I want to see this.
Bruce Weber certainly would like to see it again. He can't believe it. So maybe a bit of lost composure by Cartier Jara, the redshirt freshman.
Watch the drive now. Jara's going to come into the picture. And he obviously says something to Mike Stewart, who, listen, Mike Stewart's got a quick trigger. We all know that. And when you coach your team, you have to tell your team that certain officials referee this way and certain officials referee another way. And if you get close to Mike Stewart, you know that he's going to blow a technical on you. And you got to understand the scouting report of the officials in the game.
With 6 to shoot. Graham with a hand in his face.
If I'm Kansas State right now, I go inside and make the officials blow the whistle on my end.
Ten on the shot clock.
Jara's going to have to make a play.
He calls his own number and knocks it down with Malik Newman up in his jersey.
Okay. Bruce Weber doesn't mind a technical now on the freshman.
K-State has lost their last 11 in this building. They're up by 3 with 5:40 to go.
Pretty good half-court defense by Kansas State.
4 on the shot clock. Graham found a sliver of space to get it to go.
He sure did. Maween couldn't close off the baseline, and a really nice job of towing the baseline by Devontae Graham.
And a whistle stops play. Well, the point guards are starting to take over, Coach.
Listen, you have to have a clock in your head. And right here, Jara understands. Low clock, I got to get something off. And then, of course, this guy's a maestro. He understands that nothing's worked for 27 seconds, and he goes and makes a play on his own. Now, the problem for Kansas State right now is with Maween out there. Azubuike can play center field, and that's why the ball hasn't gone inside very easily.
Wade, a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line this afternoon. He has 18, averaging 18.8 in conference play.
How many did you say he had last year in this building? 20. He had a chance to put them on top late with a wide open 3.
Those 2 free throws give his Wildcats a 3-point lead under 5 minutes to play. The last time Kansas lost 3 at Allen Fieldhouse was 1998-99. And there's Vic for 3.
Well, Gerald Vic, he's been in witness protection for a week or so, and they needed that. Remember now, Azubuike doesn't have to guard Maween. He can play center field.
Jara, not this time. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Kansas basketball.
Take a look at Gerald Vic. Remember, this is the guy that played 5 minutes as a freshman, a little bit more as a sophomore, and this season has really come into his own as an all-around player, but hasn't been as sharp since conference play started.
He scored under 10 points a game in each of the last 3. He has 7 this afternoon. Coming up on 4 minutes left. Mikhailu almost finished off a gorgeous spin move that goes out of bounds and will stay Kansas basketball.
Now what they're going to say is the ball was blocked, but then did it hit the rim and then become a shot? It's going to stay Kansas ball. Listen, I mentioned a technical foul earlier. This has been an excellently officiated game. 3 really top-notch guys.
Mike Stewart, Ray Natili, Kip Kissinger, your officials today. 2 of those 3 were in this building last year. That 2-point thriller between these 2 clubs. And a Kansas turnover. 3:52 to go. We were deadlocked at 34 at the break. We're deadlocked at 64 now in crunch time.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%.
You and Franny.
Franny, how about the first Saturday without college football, and college basketball is stepping up to fill the void?
Why can't I be cloned? Can you? I want to be cloned. I'd love to be in Norman or Lubbock, but what an atmosphere we have here today. Imagine me in a Petri dish. Yikes. Let's see what they got out of a timeout. ISO.
Wade. Blocked by Azubuike.
How good has he gotten defensively?
Stood his ground. Now there's 10 on the shot clock. Wade for 3. Got it.
That's the spot that he missed a 3 from a year ago. Not this time. What does Bill Self have out of the last time out? Remember, if I could give up the foul, I would foul Azubuike rather than give up the dunk.
Here's Vic inside the 3-point line. That was a 3. They counted as a triple. And we're back to a tie, 67 all. And now the officials are going to take a look. It's directly across from our vantage point, so sometimes that's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's close right there. Signal 3. Now they're going to go look. They're going to get a lot of angles. Now, last year in college basketball, in case you're a fan, the Big 12 had the quickest review of any major conference.
I don't know if you can overturn it on that.
The shots we have so far, you cannot.
Yeah.
You see a little bit, looks like there's a little bit of daylight. Maybe this is a better angle. They'll get every look.
It looks like he's right behind it by maybe an inch.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Terrific job by our crew. Getting the best shot possible for this officiating crew. Mike Stewart, Ray Natilli, Kip Kissinger.
And let me tell you something. They've been on their game today as well, okay? Players miss about 55% of their shots. Coaches make stupid decisions. And when officials get 98% right, people criticize the other 2%, okay?
So Gerald Vick counted for 3. He has 10. And that point could prove very valuable in a tie ball game with 3:06 to go. Strategy time for K-State. What does Bruce Weber want to do?
He's going to look to see. He's ISO'd Wade a couple different times, like right there, but you see the help that time by Graham. But I love what Azubuike's doing with his footwork.
Brown lost his footing, and it's going to stay K-State basketball. Now Mike Stewart wants to talk it over. And for the second straight possession, they're going to go over to the scorer's table.
Now, does he have an inadvertent whistle here? Okay, that's what he has. Okay.
So it will be Kansas basketball.
Okay, and that's what he told me he has. I thought there could have been a reach-in foul. Let's see right here. No, see. Vick got a piece of the ball. Let's listen. An inadvertent whistle. Does it look like the ball is still in play? It goes to the arrow, and Kansas has the basketball.
Inside. Azubuike double. Gives it up to Vick. He can't get the teardrop to fall. Graham. Now Newman. Got it. It's electric inside Allen Fieldhouse. 69-67, Kansas with the 2-point lead.
Now Graham can tighten up the noose a little bit because he's not worried about fouls. And Barry Brown is sucking some air.
Brown right to the rim and a chance at a 3-point play.
He caught his breath. Man! Oh, that was mano a mano right here. Take a look. Watch it. Back and forth. And then Barry Brown with a strong finish. He was at midcourt catching his breath before he made that move.
No love lost between these two programs, but I talked to Devontae Graham before the game today. He said they know each other very well. They see each other at camps over the summer, and he and Barry Brown have a mutual respect for one another.
Well, there's so many great guards in this league. The respect is from Lubbock to Morgantown. Now, I would foul Azubuike.
Graham. No. Azubuike, yes.
And that you can't help because that's penetration, help, and then the finish on the backside.
1:30 to go. Jara, up and under, knocked out of bounds. 13 on the shot clock for the Wildcats.
Both teams have 2 timeouts. It's Kansas State ball in the possession arrow, and Bruce Weber's going to use one right here.
Well, we've got a 1-point game with 1:14 to go, eerily reminiscent to just about 1 year ago when you were in the building for one of the most controversial finishes to the Sunflower Showdown.
That game went back and forth. It sure did. And watch, final seconds. They tried to get it to Mason. They couldn't. And Svi, no, there's no walk in the park for either team that day. Let me just put it that way, okay? But we had a lot. It's a heartbreaking way to lose. This caused a lot of consternation on the part of Wildcat fans.
They've lost 11 straight in this building, but they have a chance to end that streak today. Trailing by 1, Kansas 71, Kansas State 70, a minute 14 to go. The Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. There's 13 on the shot clock for K-State. What do you think Bruce Weber is trialing up right now?
Well, first of all, the officials are going to make sure that it's actually Kansas State ball, because they can go to the monitor on that last drive by Jara, and determine whether that ball was actually out Kansas. Because that looks like it slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
Now, if it remains, if they don't overturn this, and it remains Kansas State ball, they've only got 13 on the clock. So they've got to get into something quickly, and I like Barry Brown right here to drive it.
From that one replay we saw, it did look like it went off Jara's hand last.
Take a look. Oh yeah, they'll overturn that.
It's going to be Kansas basketball.
And it looks that way.
Well, Cartier-Jara's got dance moves. Apparently the Jayhawk faithful do as well. Another standing room only crowd inside Allen Fieldhouse. And it is Kansas basketball indeed. That call was not controversial.
No, that's an easy call, and that's the beauty of going to the monitor. I mentioned earlier, Big 12 officials are quicker than most, and in part, you have so many experienced guys out there on the court. I'm going to knock on wood when I say this, but it's been as well officiated a game as I've seen in a big moment this season.
Graham, Vick, Newman, Mikhailuk, and Azubuike on the floor for Bill Self. Mikhailuk will inbounds.
Now, to me, this is Devontae Graham time. Because if you run a play for dope, they're going to foul him.
1 minute to go in regulation. Graham, the lob! Azubuike, they get tangled up in possession arrow to K-State.
That's the second time today that Azubuike's come down with the ball, and K-State has either poked it loose or tied him up. He has a tendency to drop the ball, which is a habit of a lot of young big guys.
Well, that shows a lot of trust in Udoka Azubuike.
That you have right here, Rich, and you got to have guts to do it. You can go 2 for 1 right now. If you shoot it before about 38, you have a chance for a second possession. But I don't think Bruce Weber plays that way. It's got to be up by 38.
Wade. Brown wants it. He takes it. Off to the right. Sneed follows. No. And a foul on the floor. And the foul's going to be on LeGerald Vick.
And because Sneed tipped the ball, it's awarded as a 2-shot foul by rule. And you see Barry Brown, he just put his head down, got to the rim, and Xavier Sneed with a terrific effort on the backside. It's so hard to contain the backside on a drive. And the offensive guys run in there.
That is a big money free throw from Xavier Sneed, the best free throw shooter on this K-State club. He has 13, and we have a timeout called by Bill Self. So the Jayhawks will have 1 remaining. Well, we've seen this movie before a couple of times, Fran. No one's seen it more times than you. What do you think Bill Self draws up now?
Well, he's got a couple of options. First of all, on a missed free throw, they must secure it. If it's a made free throw and they're down 1, you don't want to hold the ball for the last shot. You want to get the first best shot you can with a chance to offensive rebound and hope you take the lead that way. If it's a missed free throw and it's a tie game, then you wait until about 5 or 6 before you start your action to the rim. And obviously the overwhelming bet is that Devontae Graham is going to have the ball in his hands.
30.2 ticks left. Kansas 71, Kansas State 71. And Xavier Sneed at the line looking to complete the 2 free throws and give the Wildcats a 1-point lead.
I can't imagine that Kansas is staring at its 4th home loss. It's mind-boggling.
3 of those would be here in Allen Fieldhouse. And Sneed calmly nails the second one. K-State only has 5 fouls. Shot clock is off. Kansas trails by 1. Newman got fouled and will go to the line. And up until the very last second, Malik Newman had a clean look at the hoop.
And there's no way to foul him out on the floor right there, because he got by his defender really easily.
Well, Malik Newman, a very good free throw shooter, 86% this season. His first trip to the line this afternoon. Coming off a career outing, 27 points, 8 rebounds in the win against Iowa State. And he ties it up. And Bruce Weber calls timeout. Chess match time.
Same scenario. If Kansas takes the lead, Bruce Weber's dialing up something to get it up the court quickly, drive it with a chance for the offensive rebound. If it's tied, they want to have a shot as low to triple zeros as possible so Kansas has no chance to score.
Let's quickly go back to the studio and check on more Big 12 play.
All right, Rich, just want to let you know, coming up next, about 4 minutes away from Javon Carter and West Virginia, number 2 team in the country, facing number 8 Texas Tech. We all know about Carter. Right now, he's averaging a major conference best, 3.6 steals a game. He can fill it up, too. Rich, back to you.
Thank you, Adnan. A lot at stake here for the Kansas Jayhawks, not just in the present in this tough and tangled Big 12, but they already have 2 losses this season at Allen Fieldhouse. They have not lost 3 times in these hallowed grounds since before the turn of the century, 1998-99.
Now, if you're Kansas State, whether you're tied or down 1, I think you got to have the ball in Barry Brown's hands. He's coming off a 38-point night against Oklahoma State. He has an alpha dog mentality, trained well by his dad. Barry Brown was an outstanding player at Jacksonville. And Barry Brown is built for these kind of moments. The key for Kansas State right now is to secure the defensive rebound. And Malik Newman, obviously, with a chance to put KU up.
And Newman gives KU the lead. And quickly, offense for defense substitution. And free throw shooting as well as Brian Patrick steps on. 15 seconds left.
Everybody on the floor for Kansas State can make a 3.
Five to go.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Too much time.
Brown, the prayer. It's off the mark. And Kansas escapes again. Barry Brown wanted the ball in his hands. He might have waited a tick too long.
You know, I get the idea of a ball screen in that situation. I do. It's America's play at the end of a game. But when you spread the floor for Barry Brown and go one-on-one with Malik Newman, you're forcing the defense to help or foul. And once there's a big man in the play, there's too much crowd out at midcourt, and they went a little bit late.
It was another instant classic, partner. Great to be here with you. For Frank Fraschilla, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Kansas wins 73-72 in the Sunflower Showdown. Now we get you out to Mark Neely and Robbie Hummel in Lubbock for the #2 West Virginia Mountaineers taking on #8 Texas Tech.